What's kicking, fam? I'm glad you've clicked in so I can check in with you. Mr. Batch here with a quick street sport riff. Let me jump right in by starting off with the 17-year-old who went over the wall and got tasered. Good for your ass. I hate to use that vernacular, but hey, that's what happened. You call up your dad and you tell your dad, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and your dad is like, nah, son, don't do that. So all those rumors out there talking about whether the dad dared him to do it or not like that, it has been reported in the newspaper that he said, no, son, don't do it. And the boy went over the wall and got tasered, and it was just in the newspaper. That's a great shot of the police officer chasing him down with the taser and giving him a good zap. Now, last night you had a 34-year-old do the same thing at the same stadium, but gave himself up real quick. But guess what? The charges on top of that for that guy is he had narcotics on him. For shame, for shame, for shame. Are you going to have drugs on you, man? You're going to go over the wall and try and make a spectacle and get some ink or probably a picture on YouTube or something like that, and you got drugs on you. Son, you messed up, you messed up. Now let's talk about Tiger Woods. And speaking of drugs, as you know, 71 tour players were polled and asked if they believed that Tiger was using drugs, and 24% of them said yes. And my opinion is, if he was using drugs, he was using either Viagra or Cialis. That's what was helping him. My man was jumping from sack to sack and coming to the game ready to play. And then after his next round, he was going someplace else and relieve himself and then come back and play the next one. No performance-enhancing drugs, which would help you on the sports field, would help you in the boudoir. Sorry, you guys know about that. So those guys talking about him being on performance-enhancing drugs, they was just jealous because they can't get that number one ranking. Speaking of the number one ranking, Tiger missed out at, what was that? That was Quail Hollow. He's now at TPC Sawgrass. It's just his toughest place to play, because that is a much more of, you got to be able to put it where you're supposed to put it, and as you know, Tiger is a long ball hitter. Now, Tiger's going to try and, it's first time he's had this, this kind of stuff going on. He's told you, man, he's got helicopters flying all over the place and et cetera, et cetera. So now he has to worry about golf. Why he has to worry about golf? Because there's a possibility that he could lose his number one ranking, which he has held for 258 straight weeks, to Mickelson. Mickelson, in the last 5 head-to-heads, has won 4 of those last 5 head-to-heads, and in the 5th one had finished ahead of Tiger. Now, that's putting the pressure on Tiger, but that's also putting the pressure on the other pro players, because hey, that almost seems as if Tiger's vulnerable. But we're going to see how that all plays out. Before it all plays out, though, we got to talk about this, though. There's a set of golf clubs on eBay, Titleist golf clubs, which was supposed to be the Tiger Slam from 2000 and 2001, where he won these set of tournaments. And Tiger said, yo, those are not my clubs. Those are not my clubs that are on eBay, but they're in my house. So somebody's out there trying to pull a scam. Now let's jump into baseball. Jabba closes, and he gets his 3rd career save and 2nd in 2 nights. Now, I've left videos out there before saying that Jabba should be a starter. He wanted to be a starter. Everything didn't work out. And guess what? He's in the bullpen, and he's getting that fire back. It just so happens that Mariano Rivera felt a little strange, and as we seen the heir apparent come in and do his thing. I think Java will be able to flourish once Mariano retires, and then he'll be able to take over the closer spot. Now, until that happens, you got to be able to groom him and get him confident to get that ball up and to get that velocity rocking and rolling. And speaking of rocking and rolling, now we've got a big controversy in Arizona. Now, the 2011 All-Star game for Major League Baseball is going to be coming up. I think they should boycott it unless they change the law. And talking about boycotting and supporting the people of their community, the Suns will be wearing Los Suns tonight in their playoff contest. So, man, there's a lot going on. That Arizona law needs to be changed. Major League Baseball players and a lot of pro ball players are up in arms against this law, which I think is kind of like, come on, man, y'all could do a better job than that. Y'all see how y'all got the terrorists here who tried to leave the SUV. Speaking of the terrorists now, I give the terrorists on the fictional show of 24 against Jack Bauer more cojones than this dude. This dude left the joint and left out of town to get out of here before the job was complete. Talk about living the American dream. My man came here, lived the American dream, got the education, made the nice money, had the wife, the house, and everything like that. And then you want to give it up so that you can be down with the jihadists, with the terrorists. Man, you a punk, man. you the first punk. Yo, you had the whole joint sitting right there. But due to the due diligence, and I'm going to call out the names of the people who did this, right? NYPD police officer Wayne Rahantang and Pam Duffy, and also street vendor Lance Orton for their being aware. Now, it took them 53 hours. What is it? It took them 53 hours and 20 minutes to catch this guy from the time they found the bomb. Yo, that's a little bit over 2 hours, two episodes of 24. Come to think about it. This dude came, left the car there with all the explosives, and you know what? This guy isn't even... Come on now, you got to be thinking now. If you're going to be this terrorist, you got to be cold-blooded. You left a set of keys to your house and the spare car that you got. Some sort of terrorist that guy is. But I'm glad that we were vigilant and steadfast in watching out for such things that can harm the American way of life here. Yo, this is Mr. Batch. Peace.